Hey everyone, it's Kast of Spell, and today I want to talk about moon magic and lunar magic, how you can implement this for yourself, how to go beyond the perspective of it just being the moon that we're dealing with, and more so the symbol of what it represents. Some people like to get caught up in the idea that that's what we're working with, is the moon. And the moon is way more than just that little piece of chunk of rocket that's floating around. It's a symbol for something. So I wanted to go more into depth about moon magic, why we utilize moon magic, and dive into some gods and goddesses that deal in that. And again, this is from an occultist standpoint. I do not subscribe personally to one magical practice. In fact, I'm crafting my own magic. I appreciate hoodoo. My background comes from hoodoo, but hoodoo needs to grow. Things change, magic changes, it develops. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about how we utilize, or why we utilize it, and being able to implement it in our own craft. So moving forward. So personally, when I'm doing a lot of lunar magic or moon magic, I am dealing with my hidden. Okay, I'm dealing with my darkness and shining a light on what the fuck I need to be looking at. Because when you're dealing in magic, all of this is a reflection of yourself, of your honest self. It's always going to be a reflection of your honest self. No matter what you're hexing, no matter what you're manifesting, it doesn't matter. It's a reflection of you, of what you truly are. That being said, I'm not going to deny myself being able to look at all the shit that I hid away on purpose. Like, there's a lot of things that are hidden on purpose that we decided to not look at. So I like to do a lot of unveiling work when dealing with myself or my inner alchemy. I also enjoy doing this work when the full moon is in effect and that veil is being lifted. Like, especially when the full moon is there, it's shining a light on darkness. I also like to work with the full moon in dealing with spirits, dense spirits. Like if you're working with ancestors, anyone who's died really, Baron Semdi, Papa Legba, any kind of graveyard deity, especially roadwork deities, portal deities, deities that take you from A to B, that open and close the door. The devil at the crossroads, you know what I mean? The devil with the contract, like those crossroad deities work really well with moonlight. So when dealing with the moon as a symbol, and not simply as the rock floating around the earth, but as a symbol, it has a lot of meaning to it. It has this ebb and flow. It likes to give and it loves to receive. It's very absorbent, very feminine in symbol. It shines light on your darkness. Okay, it also gives respect to the darkness. It moves very subtly. Like when you look at the phases of the moon, it moves very subtly. It respects the darkness. It moves in a way where it can work with the darkness. Okay, but it also gives rest to that light in itself. The moon is the symbol to allow darkness to be, because it's already dark at night. When there's a new moon, it can't help but to be dark. You know what I mean? It like demands a darkness. It allows the darkness to be. And that's why when working with the moon, especially with unveiling work, it's going to be very key, because there's a reason for the veil. You don't want to skip over that part. People like to, I just want to know. But with great power comes great responsibility. Like there's a reason for that veil. I'm not saying you're going to be veiled. I'm just saying that you have to respect the veil when working with unveiling work or lunar magic or moon magic, because that new moon, that darkness that it invokes is necessary. It's a part of the phase. It's a part of the entire cycle that it goes through. The moon changes consistently. It's meant to change. It's meant to do it all the time. So when doing your moon magic and going through different portals and different realms and whatever the fuck you're doing, you have to respect the process. It's not always a pretty process. You know what I mean? So respect the transition that happens. It's a give and take. Again, it ebbs, it flows, it moves within the darkness. like a flashlight. It'll bring light upon darkness. Like a flashlight, it'll pinpoint what you need to be looking at. It's like a guide. Okay, so you have to be able to become intimate with the moon if you're going to be doing any type of moon magic. It's not, again, that moon is a beautiful symbol for what archetype we're working with. It's the archetype. It's not the item, the spirit behind it, the fragment of self that is being reflected in that moon. So when you're going through transitions, when you're changing, when you're looking through your darkness and you're finding those things that you intended to find, that you shined light on, you're moving in that archetype, you're moving in that spirit. And to bring light to that is giving the moon justice. It's giving it honor. It's a beautiful way to offer to the moon. Like if you're doing any type of sacrificial work, there's so many different types of sacrifices. You can sacrifice your attitude, you can sacrifice how you move, your frame of thought, okay? And those are way more intentional than just finding some certain herbs because someone said you got to have these herbs. If the herbs mean nothing to you, it's not going to mean anything to you. But when that intention, when that offering and that sacrifice means something from you, it's 10 times more powerful. And that's what you want your work to be. You want it to be intentional. You want it to be personal. So just going forward with that. So it's really easy to get away with saying like general terms like transition, change, illumination, things like that when referring to the moon. But just to get more into like the inner alchemy side of it, you can invoke the moon when doing your inner child work. Like say for instance, if there's a darkness that you just can't seem to break, working with your inner child, invoke that moon, especially if it's a full moon. Bring light upon that situation. That moon is a tool. It is a fragment of self. It is a part of your own magic. That symbol of the moon and what it represents, how it moves, all of it. It's a symbol for what self is. So, moving forward, if you really want to bring light to certain things, use that moon as a tool. Okay? That's what magic is. That's what creating your craft is. Like, again, with the symbol of the moon, transformation. If there's something that you have to change into in order to continue to move, because if you're not changing, you're dead. But say for instance, you're pushing against change, like you don't want change to be, invoke that moon. This is more inner alchemy work, okay? Because if you gotta change, your frame of thought must develop. Your spirits want to develop with you, okay? If they don't develop, if they're not able to have room to change either, they're just going to die out with the time. That's why there's so many fucking spirits you don't even know about. Their names and where they come from, what they represent, whatever. They've died out. There's no change. They didn't allow them to grow. So allowing them to grow in general, it starts with self. And it starts with the reflecting of self. Like being able to look within yourself, be honest about what you see, and still continue to work with it. And not beat it down just because you find something you don't like. And it's not just this human self, this idea of self. This is the vessel. If this is the vessel, then what's inside the vessel? What's being conjured? What's being summoned? You know how many spirits are out there? There's multiple spirits within this vessel calling itself whatever the fuck that is. You know what I mean? So being able to understand what spirits these are that's taking over this vessel, that's your craft. That's your work. That's being intimate with these spirits. That's being able to understand them and work with them. So again, this is just a little tidbit of just being able to use the moon to shine light on what the fuck is really you. What is self? Doing your inner alchemy. Navigating through yourself. You know what I mean? So continue to do that. The moon is a tool. Be able to use that tool. Get creative with it. Honestly, be creative with the moon. If you're going to use this moon, have fun. Have fun with it. And when I mean have fun, I mean like be creative. Go into your inner child. Like make it a whole ritual. Make it something that means something to you. It doesn't have to be just a candle lit up for the moon. Make it mean something. What reminds you of the moon? Is it these particular candies? You know what I mean? Is it collecting moon water? Like you have crystals that you really enjoy? Like make it personal. That's how you get to know self. moving forward, there are tons of goddesses that you can work with. Again, this is a feminine aspect. This is a feminine archetype that we're dealing with when dealing with Luna magic or moon magic. It's very feminine, very absorbent, it moves well in darkness. Okay, that's the feminine archetypes tend to move well in darkness. And that being said, there are tons of goddesses that you can work with. Santísima Muerte, Maui, Chango, I think that's her name. It's an Asian goddess. Chango, is probably saying it wrong. Kaguya, the rabbit goddess, that is my favorite one to work with when doing moon magic. Kaguya, the rabbit goddess. Look her up if you don't know. But feel free to create your own and to work with it from there, because if you're able to at least create something in your archetype that is personalized to you, then you're able to move forward in a whole different perspective. Like, you can talk to it, you can summon it the way you need to summon it. Like, I summon spirits playing Call of Duty. I summon spirits playing Warframe. You know what I mean? I summon spirits cooking in my kitchen. I have a whole pantheon surrounded around the kitchen. Continue to move forward. Allow your spirits to develop and change and to grow. Okay, because damn, I have spirits coming to me like, fuck, we're tired. I want to do something else. I want to grow. I want to grow the fuck up. So that's another video. When I love dealing with the new moon, because it allows my darkness just to be darkness. I'm not trying to shine light on it. I'm allowing it to just be darkness, to pay respect to my darkness. All of it. It's a perfect symbol for it. The moon gives it a rest. She allows darkness just to be. And that's why I love working with that. I'm able to navigate through my own darkness, because I can utilize the new moon for that. Just to be able to navigate through my darkness and be okay with it. That's why I have this shirt. I'm a mess. There's a whole messy ass bitch in my darkness. She's just a fucking joke. Okay, but I have to be able to accept that, to be able to accept what I find in my darkness. And again, the new moon especially, is a great tool to be able to navigate through your darkness. I'm telling you, all the shit that you don't want to admit within yourself, all the shit that's there that you do not want to look at, utilize that new moon and go right on in. Just get all comfortable in your darkness, be able to work with it, understand that it's there, and it ain't going nowhere unless you do something about it anyway. If you really want to organize your chaos, you have to bring order to your chaos. Chaos is never gone. Darkness is never gone. Just bringing organization to it allows it to be orderly. Moving forward, if you guys are interested in any of the candles that I offer, I do offer Luna candles, and I have a Luna Magic, Santísima Muerte kits, all on Occult Corner Store. So if you guys are interested, be sure to look that up. I sponsor this shit myself, okay? If you guys are interested, occultcornerstore.com, and I'll talk to you later.